anything other than Dragon Age Origins 2 would have just been a fucking catastrophe.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what happened.
But that's because they did a quick turnaround. They're like, let's make another game quickly.
Right.
They reused a lot of resources.
Right.
And...
But my whole
and you can tell they did. You
my
can,
whole
you
point
can
on this
tell.
topic is...
You go through the same dungeon like 6 or 7 times.
Between the fiasco that was Dragon Age 2 and, G's disappointment with the ending for Mass Effect 3, I think that we can...
Not just me. Hold on.
Yeah. Not
world.
Just G. Yeah.
The goddamn fucking planet.
Right. At this point, I think we can say that
Science.
That BioWare is really far along the curve of its descent into Square Enix levels of fail. Following in the footsteps of a previous great RPG maker that basically turned themselves into a terrible parody of their former selves, like Square Enix, where Square Enix made a lot of the greatest turn-based RPGs, or JRPGs in general, ever created.
Well, are you referring to when they were Square, though?
Squaresoft.
Squaresoft.
When they were a legitimate gaming company.
Well, I don't want to say that we hate Enix because Enix has made some of my favorite games too. All the Dragon Quest games.
No,
separately they're awesome. Together they're not awesome.
Final Fantasy 3, 4, Chrono Trigger, which is my favorite game,
which was actually a collaboration of both teams.
Right. And, all the way up to, Final Fantasy VII, which was a great game. I mean, the graphics are horrendous because it was the first generation, polygon 3D on the PlayStation. But, the story and the gameplay mechanics are good enough to redeem the game by far compared to the graphics. And, up to Final Fantasy 8, 9.
I would say 10 was good, too.
Yeah, okay, fine. But,
10 was the last turn-based RPG.
Right.
And it was kind of like a hybrid.
It was good.
It was really good.
It was retarded, but it was good.
It looked fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The voice acting was amazing.
Okay, no.
What?
The voice acting in Final Fantasy X was not amazing.
No, it was bad.
Should I just say,
At the time, though, it was fucking... At the time, though, it was way far ahead of what the fuck you could expect.
Speaking of voice acting, the guy who did Waka's voice also does Bender on Futurama.
Right.
Waka.
But the point is, at the time that 10 came out, the voice acting was, retarded.
Right. Square
the fact that there was a game that was majority
as a company at the exact moment in which they went, well, we've spent 20 years or 10 years, 15 years, whatever, making some of the greatest turn-based RPGs ever.
You know what? No,
so let's stop doing that and never make another turn-based RPG. Let's ignore several years of our fans screaming at us to remake Final Fantasy VII with updated graphics, which might suggest to anyone not clinically retarded that perhaps turn-based RPGs still have a fan base that would enjoy them. Instead, let's keep trying to shove crap like Final Fantasy XIII down their throats until we kill ourselves as a company and try and convince the game makers at large that JRPGs are dead as a genre so that nobody still tries to make JRPGs. I mean, JRPGs have died as a market segment largely as a result of Square Enix screwing the pooch.
Well, I would say they had help with Namco Bandai and a few others.
No, sure, yeah, they're not the only ones.
But here's the thing. I know you say Square Enix has done this. I don't think it was Square Enix necessarily that did that. It was the majority of the talent of Square Enix leaving, joining Mistwalker. Well, not the majority of the talent, but a lot of the talent, like the original creator of Final Fantasy, leaving and creating Mistwalker, and then putting Final Fantasy the series in the hands of what's his name? What's the guy's name? Who's in?
I don't know, and I don't give any fucks.
The guy who decides that everyone needs more buckles.
Right, but I want you to understand, for the music, just the music of the old Final Fantasy games is so loved that in Japan, the people that work for Square Enix doing that music have a black metal cover band that does black metal versions of old Final Fantasy music, the Black Mages, and sell out entire concerts of people who are willing to fill whatever concert venue they can fucking think of to listen to old Final Fantasy game music. Mm-hmm. What were I don't understand how a company can fail to understand when people are screaming at them for years. We want you to go back to making the kind of games you used to make.
You know what it is? It's not just a problem with Square Enix, though. It's a problem with Japan as a whole. Recently in the news, there's literally been, I think it was a guy from Quebec, the guy who's the creator of Fez, Phil Fish. Phil Fish is the guy who said it. He basically, he was talking to, a Japanese developer. He's like, yeah, your games kind of suck. And then, they were like, well, yeah, I guess they do kind of suck. We need to work harder and make them better. Because essentially, Japanese development has basically fallen behind compared to the West.
It's unreal.
But it's not that they can't do it. I mean, Square Enix still has good teams. They have talent. Mistwalker has talent. I mean, Lost Odyssey was a good game. It was a good RPG this generation.
Too much beer.
I'm looking forward to playing Xenoblade and the Last
Odyssey,
Story.
though, I consider Lost Odyssey a better RPG than Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13-2. Lost Odyssey.
Oddly enough, I know a lot of people. Okay, I'm going to say this right now.
Apparently, the new one. What the fuck's the new one? No, I'm wrong.
Xenoblade?
Yeah, no.
Last Story?
Last
Story, yeah.
Apparently, the Last Story is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and it's not turn-based.
Well, we're going to.
It's not turn-based, and it's still a fucking amazing RPG.
They can make a good games. Blue Dragon wasn't that great. It was okay.
I didn't like Blue Dragon.
But it was okay. It wasn't offensive.
I don't like
I'm still here.
I do it.
Chasing the Dragon is a bad life plan, kids.
No, there was something I wanted to say. Like, Square Enix has good talent. I mean, the Final Fantasy Advance game, the Final Fantasy Tactics games that they've been making,
Tactics
have been great. The DS one was great.
That's just taking an old concept and just making it a little bit newer.
No, but even I'm going to argue. I know Final Fantasy 12 was stagnating, but it was a much better game than Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 12 was a boring piece of fucking garbage.
But that's because they shoehorned stupid bullshit into it. The main, from what I heard, I may be completely wrong, and I may be talking in my ass. The main character of Final Fantasy 12 was not supposed to be fucking Vaughn. It was supposed to be the Captain Bash or something.
All I'm saying.
I went to protest after Final Fantasy 7, so
Can I really?
Honestly, I went to protest after Final Fantasy 7 came out because I didn't really. It's good, but I don't like the systems in place. I don't like the Matera system.
Can I just say that when I played Final Fantasy 12, I felt like I was watching a movie and it was playing for me.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I liked how you could work the Gambit system into literally making the game play itself. Like, I know that's a point.
No, if I want to play fucking simulator, I play NHL 2012.
It's literally hilarious when you can make the game play itself by just using the system.
Just remember, you'll only be able to play it online for 3.5 days.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy Versus 13 because I know it's actually in the hands of some fucking talent. Like the guy who made the Final Fantasy Tactics series or the Tactics Advance series.
Yeah,
he knows what he's fucking doing.
When are the games coming?
Never. They just started developing it recently. Apparently, man. All they showed was teasers for the longest time. They weren't even working on it.
Yeah, of course.
It just makes me sad to see another developer following down this path into becoming a parody of their former selves.
No, but all of the developers in Japan are doing that. I mean,
BioWare doesn't have the excuse of being in Japan, so.